few news stories can change a fan's perception of their team's immediate future. When the Minnesota Vikings announced the return of Adam Thielen, the reaction was not only nostalgic, it was filled with concrete expectation. Today's video will show how the arrival of a 35-year-old wide receiver can enhance offensive efficiency and provide immediate support to quarterback J.J. McCarthy. More than emotion, we are talking about real impact on offensive execution, critical routes, and consistency in on-field decisions. This move also shifts the roles of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, creating new ways to unbalance defenses. The big question is, how far can this chemistry take Minnesota this season? Stay tuned to understand why Thielen's return is not just sentimental, it is strategic. And it could redefine the Vikings' path in 2025. Adam Thielen's return to Minnesota is not just a nostalgic move. It is a calculated, strategic decision that comes at a turning point for the franchise. After a year away wearing the Panthers' colors, the 35-year-old wide receiver reunites with the jersey that turned him into an icon and now takes on a central role in building the offense led by J.J. McCarthy. The young quarterback, drafted in 2024 but sidelined for the entire past season due to injury, will finally have the opportunity to lead the franchise. And Thielen's arrival creates the perfect bridge between experience and renewal. The context of Thielen's arrival explains much about his relevance. Minnesota suffered significant setbacks in the wide receiver unit. Jordan Addison's 3-game suspension, along with injuries to Jalen Nailor and Rondale Moore, created an immediate hole in the rotation. Even Justin Jefferson, though ready for the season, dealt with a physical issue during camp. In an offense that relies on depth and route synchronization, Kevin O'Connell knew he needed a player who mastered the system and could accelerate McCarthy's adaptation process. The solution was to bring in someone who already carries the franchise's DNA and refined football intelligence, Adam Thielen. Even before the deal was official, McCarthy and Thielen had already been strengthening their bond. The two trained together in Minnesota during last summer, continuing a routine that began in 2024. Videos posted on social media showed the quarterback throwing passes at minicamp pace for the veteran, with repetitions on short, intermediate, and deep routes. These sessions were not just informal workouts, they served as a foundation of trust. Thielen, who has worked with names like Kirk Cousins, Sam Bradford, Case Keenum, and Bryce Young, did not hold back praise when evaluating McCarthy. In his words, the young quarterback already demonstrates consistency, mindset, and the skills necessary to play at a high level. The impression is that, even without an official regular season snap, McCarthy has already earned the respect of those who know the NFL behind the scenes. The impact of this chemistry shows up on the field in specific concepts from O'Connell's playbook. Among them, option routes stand out. In situations of tight coverage, Thielen uses his reading to decide whether to go straight, cut inside, or cut outside. This feature simplifies McCarthy's job. Instead of scanning the entire defense, he only needs to follow Thielen's direct defender. The red is shared, and execution becomes highly probable. It is a mechanism that turns pressure into rhythm, ideal for a quarterback who is consolidating his first real steps as a starter. Another point is the exploitation of the middle of the field. O'Connell's system, inspired by Sean McVay's tree, values in-breaking routes, such as 10 to 15-yard digs and deep crossers. In these scenarios, Thielen stands out for his positioning and use of his body to gain separation against linebackers and safeties. For McCarthy, who has the arm to attack these windows, having a receiver who creates space and anticipates the cut is essential. Every successful connection in this area reinforces the quarterback's confidence and increases the complexity of the opposing defense, which must decide whether to collapse the middle of the field or protect against the vertical threat of Jefferson and Addison. The red zone is another territory where this partnership is expected to thrive. Quick routes like slants, whip routes, and sit routes require precise timing and attention to detail. Thielen has proven throughout his career to be one of the most efficient receivers within the 20-yard line. This efficiency depends not only on speed, but on the ability to manipulate defenders in tight spaces. For McCarthy, having this reliable outlet reduces the risk of mistakes in critical areas and increases the touchdown conversion rate. It is a shortcut to accelerate his learning curve without sacrificing offensive production. The importance of this addition goes beyond statistics. Thielen brings quiet leadership built over years as a huddle captain. In Carolina, he was the one who comforted Bryce Young in high-pressure moments and guided young receivers to take responsibility after critical mistakes. This same profile will now be replicated in Minnesota, not only helping McCarthy on the field, but also strengthening a receiver room that blends youth and prominence. Thielen'S experience serves as balance for Addison, still maturing, and as a complement to Jefferson, the #1 target who inevitably draws defensive attention. The backdrop of this deal also highlights the level of trust the front office has in McCarthy. By investing in Thielen, the management not only filled a gap, but signaled that they are willing to provide the quarterback with the right tools for immediate development. Last season made it clear that the team could not waste time. Now, with the return of a veteran who understands the system and has already built synergy with the signal caller, expectations rise that the Vikings offense will become one of the most balanced in the league, blending youth, speed, and experience. If the first half of Thielen's return story focuses on immediate impact and offensive chemistry, the second half points to something even more strategic: how the veteran raises the ceiling of Kevin O'Connell's system. Minnesota did not just bet on talent, but on planned execution. The offense can now alternate 11 personnel formations with 3 elite receivers, forcing defenses to play nickel almost all the time. This creates gaps in the running game and in play action, scenarios where McCarthy showed natural ability during summer workouts. Every well-calibrated route by Thielen, Jefferson, or Addison forces the opposing secondary to reveal their coverage, simplifying the quarterback's reads and accelerating his mental process. The impact of Thielen's arrival immediately projects onto the functioning of the offense. His specialty in intermediate routes serves as a consistency valve for McCarthy, especially in middle-of-the-field reads. The quarterback's accuracy on inbreakers gains extra value with a target who anticipates the cut and provides clear windows. Beyond execution, Thielen brings practical experience: how to use the body to seal defenders, how to adjust the route to the coverage, and how to turn small details into big gains. This type of presence not only simplifies the quarterback's job, but also increases the margin of safety for plays called by Kevin O'Connell. So the weight of leadership cannot be ignored either. During minicamp, there were moments when McCarthy sought to align adjustments with Addison and Naylor. Thielen's presence in this process proved decisive. He has been through similar situations and acts as a translator of the system for the younger players, keeping the group cohesive. This chemistry extends into the meeting room. Alongside Jefferson, number 19 provides emotional and technical balance, supporting McCarthy so the quarterback does not have to carry alone the burden of being the new face of the franchise. The balance between youth and experience creates an atmosphere where development depends not only on repetitions, but also on mutual trust. Another key point is the zone of emotional impact in the locker room. Thielen is a name that resonates among veterans and rookies alike. His journey from undrafted to Pro Bowler serves as a daily reference for discipline. In a roster undergoing renewal, this type of example strengthens the competitive culture. McCarthy, who already showed a mature mindset during his injury recovery, now has a mentor capable of maintaining high standards of accountability. It is no coincidence that teammates like Jefferson have publicly highlighted the quarterback's seriousness, a direct reflection of the support network built around him. Tactically, Thielen's arrival repositions Minnesota among the strongest wide receiver units in the league. Jefferson remains the focus of defenses, but he can no longer be isolated by constant double teams without opening space for Thielen. When Addison returns, he will find a less suffocating environment to develop. The result is an offense with multiple points of threat, supported by a quarterback with the arm and confidence to distribute the ball. This structure creates versatility. Whether in third and long situations or in the red zone, O'Connell will have alternatives to break coverages and keep drives alive. The narrative is not just about the return of an icon. It is about how the Vikings have built an offensive board where each piece reinforces the other. McCarthy, Jefferson, Addison, and Thielen do not operate in isolation, but as gears in a system designed to exploit defenses across all areas of the field. The reunion between quarterback and wide receiver, which began in discrete workouts in the Twin Cities, now becomes the franchise's official bet for 2025. When the ball rises on September 8, 2025, against the Chicago Bears, Minnesota's offense will take the field with the expectation that this balance between youth and experience will be the formula to make the McCarthy-Thielen duo one of the hardest to neutralize across the NFL. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.